Good evening, family. How are you doing? Let me know how you're doing this evening and where you're joining from. I'm Dr. Tiffany Ross. I am owner and CEO of Ulta New Creations and Dr. Tiffany Ross Coaching and Consultant, where our mission is to help women heal and recover from traumatic relationships. And I'm so excited to be with you on this evening. Where are you joining us from today? If this is your first time joining, welcome. You may have to give StreamYard permission for me to see. I have an external, um, I don't know what this called, external something that I'm using to broadcast so that I can broadcast on more than one platform. And also that I can record my workshops so that I can put them back out there in the world. So you may have to give StreamYard permission. I have my comments up so that I can see who is joining and what you're saying. But as always, if I do not get to your comment on this broadcast, I will make sure to go back, look at all of where I've posted this so that I can keep up and track the comments. But here's the thing. Last week, I left the replay out, and I did that on purpose because I know so many people that are dealing with grief this holiday season. So I wanted to leave that out. And it's on my business page. If you want to go to my business page, Dr. Tiffany Ross, you can catch that replay. And I believe I left it up on YouTube too. If you want to find me on YouTube, Dr. Tiffany Ross, like here on Facebook, subscribe, and hit the bell so that you can know when I go live or when I've posted some new updates on YouTube. And it's there. The Surviving the Holiday series, How to Cope with Grief. It is there. And I will leave that one up because I know grief is not something that we just deal with during the holidays. It's just kind of a little bit different during the holidays because those are the time we're missing our loved ones the most. So we're missing the people that we've let go or broke up. We're talking about breaking up and divorces and all that stuff tonight. So it's cuddle season. Like, they say anytime between October and January, February, somewhere around that, it's cuddle season. It's the time where we want people close to us and we want to be in relationships and we want to show up to Thanksgiving and Christmas dinner with our, booze on our shoulders. Their shoulders, hand in hand, holding hands. We want to be with someone. And so it's cuddle season. This is like the prime season for cuddle season. It's cold outside and chestnuts roasting on the open fire. And I got coffee, but you may have your eggnog. However, we don't want to be alone. We really don't want to be alone during this season. And so I'm leaving that up so that people can go back as a resource and share it with someone that that may be grieving this holiday season, or someone that's having a hard time. These resources can help them. So if you are here, please, please, please share this with someone. If you know someone who said, "Girl, I'm gonna catch this," and they forgot, tag them so they can come on in. Like, we need them to come on in the room. But most importantly, the easiest way you can do it is share, because you never know who's hurting. They may not tell you anything. You may see them every day, have lunch with them every day. They may come over your house 2 and 3 times a week, and you still may not know that they're going through some things. So the best way that you can also spread the word is by sharing the resources. So do that for me. Let me check my comments. You know what? I'm going to have to pull this up on Facebook because I don't know what it is about StreamYard where I can't see your comments. And then I get off live and I'm like, oh my, it was so many comments that I missed. And I hate missing comments because that's interaction. Y'all be letting me know stuff and I need to know stuff. So let me go on Facebook real quick. There we go. There we go. Thank you for sharing. I see Vera has shared it. KJ has shared it. Thank you guys so much for sharing. Thank you so much. I should be able to keep up with the comments. I don't know why it connected my AirPods. I'm going to turn it down now because it was connected to my AirPods. Hi, LaShonda. Thank you for being on. Thank you for being on. Okay, so I'm going to jump on in because I do not want to keep you guys too long on tonight. So tonight we're talking about breakups. Breakups, divorce, um, any kind of toxic relationship. It could be with a friend, it could be with a significant other, or a career. Because y'all know sometimes we have to break up with our careers too. Living witness, I had to break up with mine job in 2020. So so sometimes we have to go through those breakups. So we're going through and talking about breakups on tonight. So if you know somebody that has recently gone through a breakup, or is going through, or facing a breakup, then they need to be in here. They need to be seeing this. So make sure you share as I go along, and feel free to interact in the comments. I want to know that you're here. I want to know if you have any questions. So interact in the comments. So I already introduced who I am. So if you missed that, then you'll catch it on the replay. I've already told you how you can participate on tonight by sharing, by interacting in the comments. And then we're gonna go into what we're talking about is dealing with breakups during the holidays. And I have a special invitation for you. If you stay on towards the end, I'll get into that and tell you how you can connect with us a little bit more. So make sure you stay on that for that too. Okay, I want to take this little banner thing off because I want you guys to see me. There we go. Got it. Y'all, I'm learning. I'm gonna get it. Like, I'm gonna get it after so long. I'm gonna get it. Okay, so dealing with breakups. Why are we talking about this? I'm a natural researcher. So I found this article, and it was really originally put out by Forbes. Well, actually, it wasn't originally put out by Forbes. It was put out by Mental Health America, which is a nonprofit organization that focuses on breaking the stigma on mental health as well. And so they said this nice little statistic that really resonated with me, and I want to share that with you guys today. It says, on average, this is average, 80% of Americans have experienced some type of emotional abuse in their lifetime. Yo, 80% of people have experienced emotional abuse. Do y'all realize how many people that is? Like, it's over what, 7 billion people in the world, and 80% of them have experienced emotional abuse. That's quite a bit. That's quite a bit of people. So now we're starting to see, like, this mental health stuff that we talk about, it is a problem. Relationship stuff, that is something going wrong, where 80% of people are experiencing emotional abuse. And we're not even talking about physical abuse tonight. Like, that statistic hadn't even came up. I hadn't even got that statistic, pulled that statistic for tonight. And then it says here, another 75% report that their boss is the most stressful part of their day. Now, who can relate? I hope I'm not that. I don't want to be that kind of boss where people be like, oh, she stressed me out today. Like, I don't even know if I want to go back. Y'all, don't be them kind of people. Don't be the boss that they talking about in the 75%. Okay, don't be that boss. But 75% of people report that their boss is the most stressful part of their day. I know. I worked in mental health, and usually it wasn't the patients that weren't the problem. In the school systems, is, I've been in the school system, and sometimes it's the children that's just the most stressful, but most of the time it's administration that's the most stressful, and all the demands that go along with that. And it's like that too with jobs, demand of the job and needing to meet certain quotas and all that. It can be stressful. So guys, my assignment is clear. Like, I just want to normalize being human, normalize what it is to go through a breakup, normalize when we need to go through a breakup, the different types of breakup, which I've already shared. But wait a minute, let me go back, because I want to share this last statistic with you. I almost left it out. 70% of people say that their friends are probably toxic. Like, 70%. 70% of people. That's a lot of toxic friends. Now, as a therapist, that tells me that somewhere is, like, we're going wrong somewhere, not educating people on how to set boundaries, not educating people on their self-value, their self-worth, when they need to let go, when they need to even just put those boundaries in place, so they're not attracting these people. But I guarantee you one thing, in this 80% of people that have experienced emotional abuse, chances are they have not healed. And because you have not healed, you're attracting toxic friends, you're attracting toxic bosses, you're staying in toxic jobs, you're staying in toxic environments, because you are unhealed somewhere. So let's get into talking about breakups. I think I have already hit on what kind of breakups or the different types of breakups. And for the purpose of tonight, we're just going to focus on the relational breakups, like divorce and being in a relationship and experiencing a breakup. But there are many different types of breakups. Relational breakups, divorce, from a friend. Like if you're in a friendship, one of those toxic friends in that 70% that we just talked about. If you hear my little person, I promise you he's okay. He's just trying to get in here and he's still sleeping. So there, that clears that. His daddy got him. And then the last one is from a job or a career. Like when we need to break up from a career, when we need to move on, because sometimes the jobs that we are at are just toxic. They're just toxic environments. So we'll talk a little bit about how do we know when it's time to part ways. It's because sometimes we need to part ways. And I don't care if it's a relationship or a divorce. And I said, I put something on Facebook earlier, is when I'm talking about relationships, y'all, I don't exclude marriages. I do not exclude marriages. And I don't know where in the world we decided that marriages are different from all other kind of relationship. They are different in some aspects, but there are some foundational things that should be present still in marriage. So when I'm talking about relationships, I include marriages in those relationships. And I kid you not, I get probably more married women that contact me than I do single women. Now, I'm not saying married women have more problems than single women. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is the problems are, they look the same. When it comes down to relationships and how we do relationships and all of that same, whether you're single or married. So I don't exclude marriage from these conversations that I'm having, the workshops that I do, the programs that I put. I don't exclude marriage. So don't you automatically say, well, I'm married. I don't have to worry about none of that. We good over here. Y'all may be good, and that's good. I'm glad that you're good. You don't need this, but somebody else may. So listen up. So how do you know when it is time to part ways? You've been in a relationship for quite a bit. You may have some stuff in common. Things have been good for a while, or maybe not good. Well, how do you know when it is time that you part ways? And like I said, I'm not excluding marriage from this. Find yourself wherever you need to find yourself, and then we can walk through some techniques on healing on the back end. Okay, so manipulation. Manipulation and control should not be present in any relationship. We see that a lot with emotional abuse. We see it a lot with physical abuse. We see it a lot when we talk about toxic relationship, toxic couples. There are always some aspect of manipulation and control. Manipulation and control shouldn't exist in a relationship. If I gotta cry to get you to do what I want you to do, that's manipulation. That's you trying to control them. That should not exist in a relationship. So anytime that there's some manipulation and control going on, then if it's from you, then you need to back up and see what's really going on with you. Or if it's from them and they're using it as a form of controlling how you feel or controlling your behavior, then those are red flags that you look out for. I'm not saying you need to part ways. I'm saying it's a red flag. Okay, that's number one. And then another one is that they don't really, you're with them just because they're another body. Let's just go and say for what it is. You're with them just because you don't want to be alone. You're with them because you don't want to be in your house by yourself. You don't want to raise your children by yourself, but they don't make you feel good about yourself. They're always saying ugly and mean things to you. They're always talking bad about you. Those are red flags. The person that you with shouldn't make you feel bad about who you are. They should make you feel worse about yourself than you feel already. They shouldn't be the people that's putting you down. They should be the people that's lifting you up. They should be the people that's supporting you. So if they're manipulating, controlling, they're make you feel bad about yourself, they're negative, they're judgmental, they always have something to say about something that you're not, and you can never do anything right. They passive aggressive, so they mad at you, but they take it out, on you in other ways. Yeah, those are signs that it is a very unhealthy relationship. But here's another one. What about the ones who are always talking about themselves? Like, you need something. I ask you for something, but you can't give it to me without focusing on yourself. or without expecting for something in return. They're self-centered, self-focused. They're in the relationship for themselves. They want to see what they can get out of it. They're there to use you. And you know, y'all, we know when people use us. When we literally get nothing or very little out of the relationship, and the person just always taking, always taking, always taking, and never pouring back into you, then that's a sign that they're selfish. What about the ones who have difficulties with just controlling themselves and controlling their behaviors and controlling how they react and respond? And they're always having to go back and apologize because they done said something to you wrong, did something to you wrong, said something to somebody else, reacted in a way that they should not have acted, was it always angry, always. Those are red flags. And those are signs that there's some other things that's going on with them, or there's some other things going on with the relationship that you do not want to ignore. Can y'all hear me? I just want to do a quick check because my AirPods doing some crazy things. But can y'all hear me? Good. I hope so. Okay. So these are some signs that you want to look for when you're talking about, well, I don't know if I need to break up with them. I don't know if it's time for me to let go. If we're talking about marriage, I am for marriage, been married for 10 years, but I will never say for anyone to stay in a relationship where there's any kind of abuse present, ever. I don't care how long y'all been married. I don't care how long you've been married. You do not deserve to be anywhere where you are being mistreated, attacked, manipulated, controlled. You don't know your head from your toes. Your head swimming because the person playing mind games with you, and you can't take care of yourself, and you can't take care of your children effectively because you're so scatterbrained, and you can't do what God called you to do because this person doesn't support that, and they're always down on you. Yes, no, I do not ever tell people to stay in places like that. Ever. I don't care if you're married or single. I'm just gonna be real with you. I'm not. And anyone who tells you that you should, you may need a second opinion. You just may need a second opinion. So, what do you expect now that you just kind of found yourself in, well, maybe this relationship not good for me. I think it's time for me to move on. Or even I've already moved on. What can you expect? What can you begin to expect now that you've determined that it's time to break up, move on, let go. Um, don't expect that you won't go days that you automatically cut off and won't miss them and won't love them, that your feelings are going to automatically shut off. Don't expect that because they won't. You will have days that you terribly miss them. And I'm talking about days where you want to pick up the phone. Let me check my comments over here. You'll pick up the phone to shoot them a text, just, hey, I just want to know how you doing. I got my phone pretending. Hey, I just want to know how you doing. You'll have those days. You will absolutely have those days because your feelings don't shut on and shut off like that. I don't care what America teaches. I don't care what they teach. Your feelings do not shut on and shut off like that. And if they do, then we're looking at some other stuff, some other mental health stuff going on because we're not wired that way. We're not wired for our feelings to shut on and shut off. We're not wired that way. If we deeply care about someone, if you've been spending your time, your attention, your focus, and you guys have already been planning your futures together and all this, and all of a sudden nothing goes how you thought it was going to go, your feelings don't automatically turn off. So you will have a period of time where you will still miss them, and you may even be tempted to go back to that relationship. Your feelings won't go away instantly. So don't expect for them to. It is a process. But here's what I tell people, particularly when there's no children involved, and that their relationship was toxic, and it's time for you to move on. Cut off completely. You have to cut off in order to begin to move forward. Now, if you still hold on, if you're still setting dates with them and they're still your go-to person for when you having an emotionally hard day, or when you just need comfort, and you hadn't cut off, they're still on your list. Now, an ex is an ex for a reason. Remember, an ex is an ex for a reason. Now, I do believe in restoration. I believe that people can change with proper resources and healing and deliverance. Like, I believe people can change. I know I've seen people change. I know for myself, people can change. But rarely does it ever happen that you leave a person and stay connected to them and they change. Rarely does it ever happen. I'm not saying it can't. I'm saying you're not meant to be anyone's savior. It is not your job to try to force them to change and convince them that it's time and go find therapists for them and be their mama and go cook breakfast and lunch and dinner for them. And no, that ain't your job. Cut off from them. And you need to do that for your own mental health. You need to cut off so that you can begin to make space on what you need to do to move forward in healing. Now, it may not be that cut and dry if y'all have children. You may have to cut off in certain portions. Like, you can't call my house after a certain time. Like, we will go certain places with the kids, but we're not going all places with the kids. Like, we ain't going on trips. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, the stuff that happens. Like, what? Okay, I'm not even finna get into that. I'm not finna get in going on trips. I power to the people who can do that for their children. Power to the people that can do that for their children. If that's how you want to support your children, determine how you want to support your children. But keep in mind, you may have a relationship in the future. How do you think that person's gonna feel if they know you gonna go off on a trip with your ex every summer and stay gone the whole summer? So consider these things when you're planning. Now, co-parenting, you should be able to co-parent, but you also set boundaries around co-parent. Parenting, the person shouldn't have unlimited access to you. Like, I don't believe that people, not after we done broke up, you don't have unlimited access to me. Like, you don't text me at 3 o'clock in the morning because 3 o'clock in the morning is booty call. I would, yeah, it's the wrong time to be calling somebody talking about I'm in need. That's the wrong time. So don't call me at no 3 o'clock in the morning. In fact, I'm gonna block you, and then I may unblock, especially we have children. I may unblock you the next morning just because I want to make sure that we can get in contact with each other to take care of our children. If we gotta, rearrange like who's gonna pick up and drop off and all that. Co-parent how you need to co-parent, but understand that you're co-parenting. That this is not a relationship. This is co-parenting. I stayed on that a lot longer than I needed to. And get a mediator if you need to get a mediator. If you need a third objective person that's going to help navigate the co-parenting, get someone. Do whatever you need to do for your peace. Do whatever you need to do for those children to be taken care of, but for your peace. Okay, here's another thing you can expect. That you may have some residual anger and resentment. You really may be mad at them, mad at, if especially if infidelity is involved, or if the person really did something that led you to make the decision. Well, I think when relationships go wrong, it's two people, but that's neither here nor there. Like, I mean, it is here and there. We'll talk about that at a later time. Relationships don't go bad with just one person. It's two people, always two people, because it's two people involved in the relationship. I that's just what it happens. We'll get into that conversation because that's a whole conversation. But you may still have anger and resentment. And that's to be expected because there's some hurt and some pain that still may be there that you haven't processed and you haven't dealt with completely, and some wounds that still may need to be healed, and that can only sometimes be healed with time and meeting with a counselor and seeking, like, I'm a Christian, so I believe in seeking consolation in Christ. Some of those wounds cannot be healed; they don't heal automatically. So you may have some residual stuff that's still there. Okay, here's another one that you may not expect is gaslighting. That person, especially if you're dealing with somebody that's toxic, may try to romanticize what the relationship was or how good the relationship could be if things change or if you come back to them. They literally may try to gaslight you. Um Or they may say stuff like, it really wasn't that bad. It really wasn't that bad compared to where you are now, or compared to you being alone. Like that's a form of gaslighting. Because if you really think back, then it really was bad. It really was bad. So expect, especially if you're still in contact with them, that there may be some gaslighting, especially if they're unhealthy and toxic, that there may be some gaslighting. And then here's what you can do: block them. Don't be afraid to block them. If you know they're going to be texting you, because some people don't like to be rejected. If they're going to be texting you, trying to get back with you, and you know that's not where you want to go and that's not what you want to do, in order for you to heal and move on, block them. Block them. You can't move forward looking at the past. And then the last tip that I'm going to do of what you can expect after a breakup is, and I think I've probably said this the whole time, take some time to heal. Take some time to heal. Like, I know people who go out of relationship into another relationship, and then out of that relationship into other relationships, and we look back at your track record, you've been married 5 times, or you've been in a relationship over 2020 to 2021. We done met 3 different Tyrones. Some ain't right about that, especially because when we grown, like going in and out of relationships and marriages, guys, I'm talking about, these are people that you're sharing your heart with, your body, your life, your, going in and out like that is not healthy. It's not healthy for your emotional state and your body. Give yourself some time to heal, to process some things, to process what went wrong, process your part, like you, and so that you can be able to take responsibility. Maybe I do have a pattern of letting people walk all over me, or maybe I do have a pattern of not really using my voice. Maybe I do have a pattern. So take some time to really heal in between the relationships before you go into the next relationship. You deserve that. You deserve that. You deserve that process of healing. Like, I'm convinced, and I've said this too in times past, that I'm convinced that in order to go into a healthy relationship, like, you have to have a certain level of health going into meeting that person. If you're unhealthy going into that relationship, it's almost always that you're going to attract somebody that's unhealthy just like you are. So take some time in between to shed off some stuff, deal with some stuff, process some stuff, journal some stuff, deal with some stuff from your childhood. Figure out what you've been called to do. The worst thing I think ever is people, especially grown people, trying to figure out who they are while being in a relationship. Like, that's hard. That's hard. It's hard enough. Like, I remember going, trying to figure out myself, going through my undergrad, just trying to figure out who I am. What's all this stuff that I'm carrying, all this baggage and stuff. That stuff hard. You know how emotional draining it is to go through a therapy session? It's hard. Now imagine having to go through a therapy session where you processing, where you were a 4-time rape victim, like I am. Actually, I'm a 4-time rape survivor, because I don't believe in staying victimized. I believe I've crossed over into the healing phase, and I am a 4-time sexual abuse survivor. But some people may not be able to say that in confidence. They may still be struggling with that. But imagine coming out of a therapy session where you don't have to work all day, and you don't had to go through all of this and then process all that stuff emotionally, then go home and have to deal with taking care of a family. It's hard. Now, especially if you are single, these are the times where you take those moments to really heal and move past some things. And I feel like in COVID, we've been allotted the opportunity to really slow down and deal with some things. And we need that stuff. We need to take that time so that we can move forward in power and in authority and in confidence, doing what we feel like we have been called to do. None of that was in my notes. I'm throwing that in there for free. Because somebody needed to hear that. So how do you cope? Y'all, I thought I was through or wasn't through, but I got like 2 minutes I'm gonna spend on this. My goal was to be done by 7:30. but I feel like somebody's pulling, so I needed to say that. So how do you cope? What are some strategies that you can begin coping? I hope y'all got y'all notes. Did you get your notes? Y'all write this stuff down because the replay will be taken down in less than 24 hours. This one will not stay up. It will go. The rebroadcast will happen on 8 o'clock on Friday, and then it will be taken down after that. So I hope you got some notes and you're taking notes. Game plan what you're going to say and do going into the holiday gatherings, because y'all know somebody auntie gonna ask you where such and such is and why y'all broke up, and they gonna want to know all the details, and people gonna ask you because if they like my family, they remember. They gonna remember who you brought last year. They gonna remember who you been spending your time with, and they gonna ask where is so and so and what happened. Cause my family would do that. Well, why y'all not together? What happened? I know because I'm nosy. I'm from that same family, and I would ask them same questions. Well, what happened? I thought y'all were good. I thought y'all were gonna get married. I'm from the same family. So y'all gonna have people that are gonna be asking you questions. So game plan before you go into the Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's gone. Before you go into the Christmas dinner, before you go into any kind of, and these are not just for the holidays, in case you haven't noticed. These are life situations too. But game plan. I already have your words that you're gonna say. I already have your little statements ready. Say, I'd rather not discuss that. I'm not ready. Uh Here's one. Ain't none of your business. It ain't none of your why are you asking me that? It ain't none of your business. I'm just saying. Now these are things that I would say. Now let me be a little bit more professional. These are things that I would say. You get your things that you're going to say going into the dinner or the get together or the office party or whatever. You get your statements together on what you're going to say to draw boundaries with people, because you just may not be ready to talk about it, or it may not even be the place to talk about it, or your relationship with them may not even warrant you having that conversation with them, and that's okay. Some more. If you keep pressuring me, I'm going to leave. If you keep telling me what I need to be doing, and why I'm not married yet, and why I don't have children yet, and why you let them go. I thought they was. If you keep pressuring me, I'm not finished. I'm not here for it. I'm not staying for it. Have your statements ready. Here's another one. Don't say nothing negative about my children's father. Not around me and not around them. These are how you draw boundaries. These are how, because some people family feel like they can just say whatever they come to their mouth and head, and just because we family. No, we have to create those boundaries even with them. Do respect their father, even if you didn't agree with my relationship or with my marriage. Respect that. Respect me. Respect me enough to not ask me questions that I'm uncomfortable with answering. And then some other things that you can do and coping with the breakup. I know we talked about, like, you may miss them as the holidays and all this, um, get you out of paper. I have plenty of paper around me. And what I like to do, I wish I could show you guys. I have my blackboard, but it got some notes, not whiteboard back there, but it has some notes. But what I typically do is I walk through, and I do this with my clients too, especially if they sign up for my 3 and 6 month program. If there is two options, actually, I'm not one trying to plug, but hey, it's what it is. It's called Relationship Voice Academy, and we literally walk through like certain cycles, because if you don't notice, your behaviors are in a pattern. And so what I do, I just have my little sticky note here, is I walk through, like, my loneliness cycle. When are the times that I usually am lonely? This, I'm just saying, pen and paper, because you guys won't be able to see it on here. Are there times that I'm more lonely than other times? Then when I'm lonely, what do I do? Do I typically reach out to so and so? Am I reaching out to the same person for comfort? What else do I do for comfort? Okay, now that I get comfort, what else happens after that? And you literally going through this cycle until you end back up into I'm lonely. You walk yourself through your loneliness cycle, because that's a part of knowing yourself, and you need to know when the times that you're lonelier than other times, so that you can begin replacing those with other things. so that you're not reaching out to Tyrone. Y'all, Tyrone, I don't know who Tyrone is, but Tyrone, I'm sorry, buddy. You catching it. I'm so sorry. I apologize for the Tyrones of the world. My intention is not for you to catch any shade that's being thrown your way. So I apologize, Tyrone. Your name is just common. So I apologize, Tyrone. But you need to know your loneliness cycle. You need to know how you can begin filling those areas with doing something else. I have a friend who says, she'll spend that time when she's feeling alone, she spend that time just really pouring into herself with scripture. She has scriptures that she'll pour into or study certain things or read books. A lot of people read books or pamper themselves. Something you do, because loneliness is a whole thing. We'll talk about loneliness this week. The topic is actually, what do the lonely do for Christmas? So we'll talk about loneliness, because loneliness can be very pervasive. And if we're not careful in filling those loneliness, those voids with something else, then we can end up with people and doing things that are not conducive to where we need to be or are going for our future. Okay. Then here's another one. Toss old items that remind you of them. Why are you holding on? I said this last week, didn't I? Why are you holding on to it? What you holding on to the memory box for? It was a toxic relationship. Why you want to remind yourself of the good times that sorry, Tyrone, you and him had? Why? Why do you need to? Now I can understand, if you have children and maybe holding on to certain items because you want to show your children. Thank you, Stacy. Because you want to show your children. I can understand that for to a degree. But some items we need to let go on. We need to let go of, guys. We just need to let it go. Just let it go. It's ended. If you have an emotional connection to it and it's gonna remind you and you want to sniff and smell and be reminded of what it's like to no, let it go. Toss old items that remind you of them. And then the last one is create boundaries. We talked about that a little bit with our families, but we also have to create boundaries with people that we're no longer involved with. Create those boundaries. There's no more dates. We ain't going on no more dates. We're not trying to figure out, what happened to the relationship. We don't need closure. Closure is a myth. I don't even know who invented the word. Well, we need closure. No, we don't need closure. We just need to know that relationship wasn't good for us and we need to move on. There's no the closure is I'm done. That's the closure. Somebody need to put that in the comments. The closure is I'm done. That's it. That's the closure. That's the closure we need right there. We don't need to agree that it's time for us to move on. We don't need to agree. This could very well be a decision that I made for myself, for my own sanity, for my own mental health, for my own children. You don't need to agree on the decision. You don't have to agree. So we ain't doing no more Netflix and chill. You're not coming over in the middle of the night. Um, I'm sorry, I'm no longer your support person. Because and that could be very big, especially if you have an emotional attachment to them. I'm sorry, I'm no longer your support person. I'm not even sorry. I'm no longer your support person. We're not that anymore. This is not that. I'm not someone that you can continue to string along or continue to hold on to for your convenience. This is not that. I'm not her. Limit the access and definitely shut the door. Now, my mama would say that because, this is some stuff we can't say over social media. We shouldn't say over social media. Shut the door on any intimate relationship you once had with them. On any intimate relationship you had with them. I'm not your booty call. I'm not your friend with benefits. I'm not somebody you call just because you needs met. I'm not calling you because I need a need met. No, we shut the door. We cut off the relationship. So those are some tips. Like I said, I hope that you guys had a pen and was writing and taking notes. And as always, if you have questions, please reach out to me. And I told you, if you stay on at the end, that I had something that I wanted to share with you. So, beginning on the night, well, actually, it began last month, but I'm releasing it again this month because I know that people have so many questions that need answers. They have so many questions that need answers, and they need those questions answered from someone who's going to tell them the truth and someone that's knowledgeable about what it is that they're asking. I'm not knocking people on the internet. I'm not knocking them. I just know I just know where I flow. I know where my degrees are in, and they come from creditable universities. They're behind me. I have them displayed for a reason, not to brag, not to boast, because I want you guys to know that I am creditable. My PhD came from a creditable university. My marriage and family therapy degree came from a creditable university. So the information that I tell you is because these are areas that I have been trained in. I operate where I flow. So I specifically wanted to design a community or a platform where people can submit questions ahead of time, and we meet kind of similar to this. And but it's private, it's Zoom, it's on a Zoom, it's a Zoom event. So they get to come in, they submit their questions ahead of time, they get to come into the Zoom event, they can turn their cameras off if they want to change their display name because they don't want anybody to know that they're there and they're listening. They get the opportunity to do that too, because the most important part is that they're there getting their question asked, can't talk tonight, getting their question answered. So I'm gonna put up the link for those who are interested in joining. The next one will be on the 9th, which is just in a couple of days at 12 p.m. And then I will have another one on the 10th that will be that night. So I want to catch the people who are able to join with me during the lunch hour. At least it's my lunch hour, um at 12 o'clock. And we literally stay on depending on how many questions we have, between 15 and 30 minutes, because it's literally a touch, like we touching at the question, and we're moving on. But the special thing about this private event is that you also will have the opportunity to get free live coaching. you, like, I'm talking to you guys now, but on the coaching, we actually will be interacting. So it would just be like we're having a session, but we're doing it live. And I specifically wanted to do that because I want people to get an idea of what it's like to work with me one on one, what it's like to even work with a coach. Even if you choose not to work with me, anything past this point or anything past the free live coaching, I want you to kind of get an opportunity of what it looks like to maybe be in, working with a coach, or if you choose to go to therapy route and meet with a counselor, in a building, what it's like to actually meet with someone and be vulnerable and share, and you feel a little bit more empowered to take the next step, because that's what it's all about, is you taking the next step to get the healing that you need. So the link is there, is bit.ly, bit.ly, backslash or forward slash DTR coaching. You go there, it'll pull up a form that you'll be able to submit your questions. You'll be able to select what day you can attend, and it will automatically send you the Zoom link so that you can show up December the 9th or December the 10th, December the 9th at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, or you can attend on December the 10th, either session on at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So the link is there. I'll also post a link on my profile all the way up until December the 9th. So you'll be able to go to the link and schedule at any point in time throughout the process. So I want for us to go in 2022, like we have only a few more weeks. I want us to go with a game plan. We're entering into 2022 with a game plan, that we're not taking things that we don't need to take, and we have a plan of what we're going to do to begin walking out our healing. Like, I think a lot of us, our eyes have been open, and now it's more so, well, what do I do, and how do I connect with the resources, and how can I afford it, and all of these. Well, these are all questions that you can ask in the community so that we can get you connected wherever you are, and something that fits your budget. So I love you guys so much. Let me check my comments. Let me take a minute, because I feel like I just been kind of talking. So let me take a minute and check my comments to make sure of whether or not I have any questions. Hi. I'm looking like onto different platforms. Thank you so much for attending. Um, that Ara, Ara, I think, and I see some other names. Like it's not pulling up everyone's names. I'm so sorry, but I promise you, I'll go back and check your comments. Oh no, it's a no. She said it's a no. Let me see if I can put that. She said, "Oh no, it's a no." I should have put that on there when you put it. I wasn't looking. I'm sorry. Thank you so much. Patrice says, "Hello, good knowledge." Thank you, Stacy. And she said, "Love it." And then I have some other comments that are here on this page that I have pulled up on Facebook. Trying to multitask and Philly. That's okay, Dr. Monica. Hey, LaShonda. Hey, Vera. Thank you guys so much for watching. And Henry Simone, Monique. Hi. Hi, thank you guys so much for watching. The replay will be up. I'm gonna say for the next 24 hours or less. I typically give it to the morning for people who want to go back and watch. But then after that point, it will be taken down. But you can catch the rebroadcast of this event if someone missed and want to go, attend live, or want to go back and catch it. They want taking notes and want to go back and take notes. The rebroadcast is Fridays at 8 o'clock, where I would go back and put this um, same cast from tonight on Friday. And don't forget to sign up for the live coaching that is coming up on the 9th and the 10th of this month. I see you guys. I don't see any questions. I love you all so much. You know how to get in contact with me. Message me if you have any questions. I will talk to you later. Y'all have a good night. Bye.